What's up, y'all? Talon here. Today I'm back with another series of high-level rank battles featuring top teams in the Regulation E metagame. Today I'm here to ruin your ladder experience if you're on the battle spot ladder by providing this rental code. I got second place at the Latin American International Championships piloted by Thiago Latanzi, Vovomax Ben 10. He's been a really competitive player on the online circuit, really excellent player on ladder, as well as winning a pretty huge grassroots tournament a while back in Regulation D before Worlds, but he wasn't actually able to attend Worlds, so this is his really his breakout tournament, I'd say. He definitely had some excellent finishes in Latin American regionals, but on the international stage, this has been his really breakout. He got second place at a massively competitive tournament, won $10,000 for it, which is just really crazy. The international prizing, this is the first time I've actually seen it broken down on the spreadsheet, and just seeing like all the fantastic players being rewarded for this skill with this this amount of monetary value is pretty incredible. Just looking back to like my first regional I won, there was no money. You got like a DS and stuff like that. So really cool to see how far the scene has come. But completely separate from that, we have a really cool team today. I took the time to recreate it in game. I don't believe Vovomax has shared the team publicly as a rental code yet. So I took the time with some educated guesses on what we saw on stream on the EV spreads, and I put that in game. I trained those in game. If you appreciate the effort it took to do that, please subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, let's get into a breakdown of the team. So zooming out for a second, the team is obviously a Tailwind team. It features Tera Ice Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, Ogerpon, Indeedee, and Regieleki. So 4 special attackers in the Tera Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, and Regieleki, all benefiting from Beads of Ruin in their own respect. The Prankster, or the Tera Ice though, is like kind of unconventional. Safety goggles, I think usually instead of having that, we see like just a Tera Ice running taunt to taunt Amoonguses and not have to worry about Spore or anything like that. This one has opted for Tera Dark, basically indicating, okay, I can't outspeed other Tera Ice and go for taunt, so to remedy that, I don't want them to taunt me, so I have the option to go for a Tera Dark and block that Prankster priority taunt on you because of your Dark type immunity to that. Aside from that, it's pretty standard. It's a very bulky Torn with Tailwind, Bleak Wind, Storm, Rain Dance for the Ogerpon in the team, and then Protect just to increase your longevity and hopefully get a couple of Tailwinds up in the battle. Next up is Chi-Yu, which is kind of just like the meme Chi-Yu. I mean, it's not to say that it's not effective, but like the Tera Fire, Life Orb, Overheat just does insane damage. We actually saw a critical hit, granted ignoring the special defense boost of a water type Ogerpon's Embody Aspect boost, but yeah, critical hit, Tera Fire, Overheat with Life Orb straight up knocked out the Ogerpon with a crit, which is just really crazy damage. Heat Wave was very close to it KOing Iron Hands on switch in, and it just softened it up for the rest of the team. So really crazy damage output. We're dropping shy of running Sunny Day or Choice Specs, but otherwise this is about as especially offensive of a Pokemon you can have in the metagame. And with Tailwind, it's really hard to stop you from just going for that unless you have like priority. For example, Aqua Jet, Fake Out, etc. You don't have the Ghost Terra, so you can't avoid Fake Out. But what you do have is the Indeedee with Psychic Surge. You can switch that in at any point in the battle and completely block any priority, which would otherwise be one of your main means of knocking out or dealing with the Chi-Yu in Tailwind, so definitely really solid synergy there. I do want to comment on Snarl being the dark move of choice over Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse would definitely just like make you a little stronger against something like really just anything you don't want to be heat waving or overheating, but Snarl does give you the benefit of being able to lower special attacks, so although a Heatran would be able to sit on you decently with Tera Fairy, they'd be able to sit on you even better if they were like eating Dark Pulses instead of Snarl, because while you are doing less damage to them, you're minimizing the damage they can do to your team. And I think one of the potential soft spots on this team could be a Heatran if you don't play right. If they have some support and you aren't able to go for the Water Terra on your Ogerpon, Heatran definitely does pretty well against a lot of the team. So having the option to Snarl and really limit its damage output is really important. Also really effective into Trick Room. Really hyper offensive teams, the bane of them are Trick Room, so having the option, if they don't have Wide Guard, to go Chi-Yu, just Snarl them, or Overheat the Follow Me user. If they do have Wide Guard and they want to go Wide Guard Trick Room, just Overheat, knock out the Indeedee or something like that. So lots of options to handle Trick Room teams, as well as just anything that would kind of give the team issue. Fluttermane is next up. It's a Focus Sash set, which is really deviating from the norm. We've seen a lot of booster energy, a lot of choice specs, but really Focus Sash has fallen out of favor for those boosting items, whether it be speed or special attack. But with the Chi-Yu on the field, I think it's definitely very beneficial to have the Focus Sash. Pokemon with Protect and Focus Sash is actually really difficult for Trick Room teams to clear off, especially when they're threatening lots of damage on the turns they are attacking. So I think this makes a lot of sense on a Tailwind team. I really do like, in general, Focus Sash on Tailwind teams, just because one way to kind of stifle the momentum of those Tailwind teams is just to like take knockouts on frail Pokemon after eating a hit, but if the frail Pokemon are actually living and being able to get multiple hits off, it becomes even more difficult to deal with them. So Ogerpon is going to be one of your main wall breakers other than Chi-Yu. It has Swords Dance on this. We saw Vovamax going for it pretty consistently on stream. That win condition, if you get the Swords Dance up, you can start healing off any damage you've taken with Horn Leech, and with the Follow Me and Helping Hand support from the Indeedee, this thing can consistently get the Swords Dance up, and then just start taking crazy knockouts or healing a ton with Helping Hand plus 2 Horn Leeches. It's a really difficult Pokemon to knock out, and it was definitely on stream one of the MVPs of their runs. The Chi-Yu wasn't able to come a lot in the later matches in the tournament on stream, but the Ogerpon was consistently applying pressure to balance builds really with Amoonguss. Not a lot to comment on the Indeedee. It is Tera Dragon, which has kind of become the most common Tera type on it, being able to resist water, fire, electric moves, not so much those, but really just being able to wall Ogerpon forms. The main thing of note here is Psychic and Protect. We've seen a lot of Dazzling Gleam, but with Flutter Mane on the team, that isn't really necessary. So we have Psychic here, which is really solid damage into Iron Hands. They're not really used to having to take that, but you're definitely going to do at least like a third of his HP and win that 1v1 consistently there. I think Protect is also pretty important to note, just because we saw a lot of situations on stream where Vovamax would put his opponent in a situation where they could target him to Indeedee but take a Spiky Shield hit, or they could rather flip that. They could target him to Ogerpon and take a Spiky Shield hit as you double protect, or they could just play it safe on that turn and target into the Indeedee. But what he would do is actually protect the Indeedee and set up with the Ogerpon, just really using the passive pressure of Spiky Shield to basically introduce situations where he'd be able to get even more value out of his Indeedee. And I really like that, and it seems to be one of the more essential components of the team, being able to hit those reads. Lastly is the Regieleki, which is the least common in terms of usage Pokemon on the team. Really no Regieleki usage has gotten like into a top 8. Really, like you could probably count on your hands the number of major tournaments that Regieleki has even made day 2 in, so this is definitely a big upset for that. This moveset is Transistor Magnet, basically trying to boost the damage of Thunderbolt and Electro Web, and then Tera Ice Tera Blast, which is basically there for anything that would otherwise resist Electric. Yeah, pretty much just Amoonguss and Landorus T, but the 50-50 that's introduced with a Tera Flying Landorus T against a Tera Blast Tera Ice Regieleki early in the game is pretty favorable, just because you have Protect, and most of the time they're Choice Scarf, so you can Protect, let them either Stomping Tantrum, stay in, or immediately go for the Tera to be able to live the Tera Blast, or just switch out. But yeah, you apply a lot of pressure to Landorus with that, and it basically introduces a lot of situations where they have to Tera to live, but after that, if you Protect, you just knock them out with Thunderbolt, so it's a really cool set there. Overall, this is a really aggressive team. I'm looking forward to piloting it on ladder. If you enjoy the videos and you appreciate the resource provided by the rental code, as well as the PokePaste in the description, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. Also, if you want to check out Tiago, his Twitter account is in the description below. With all that being said, let's get into the battles now. Wow, up against number 3 on the ladder, they have Roaring Moon, Flutter Mane, Chi-Yu, Arcanine, Iron Hands, and Amoonguss. So pretty solid team overall. Very, very solid options. Notably, pretty solid options against the Tera Fire Chi-Yu. Everything can take that. Focus Sash, Flutter Mane can take it. Roaring Moon can take it. Amoonguss Iron Hands was actually proven to be kind of an issue for this team in the finals against Marco, so I got to be on edge versus that. I think I might actually kind of mirror his game plan though. Does that work? Maybe, I don't know. They are pretty high on ladder, I have to be ready, but I feel like I got some game into this. Maybe it should be Flutter Mane lead though. Not sure. Instead of Regieleki, I'm not totally sure, honestly. The presence of Flutter is pretty scary. I'll trust him. I'll trust Tiago's game plan against a similar team. I think there's enough variations that it might be a little trickier. I think the Arcanine is decent. We can still Helping Hand Thunderbolt that for a knockout, but the issue is always going to be the Iron Hands and the Amoonguss in the back being fairly safe switch-ins. So got to be wary of that. Iron Hands Chin Pow is the lead. That's totally fine by me. I think that's a fairly free... should I... I'd love to know if they're Life Orb Chi-Yu, or Chin Pow, honestly. Tera Dragon, unfortunately, isn't safe for me here. Yeah, Chin Pow. Bit tricky. Oh, I so badly want to... Yeah, interesting spot. I think double protect is safe. Like, I don't really have to double protect, do I? I think they might go for something like Lash Out, honestly, which would be annoying. Yeah, I think I'm gonna double protect, gauge if they have Lash Out, maybe bait out a protect. Because if they don't have a knockout with Icicle Crash here, unless they're like Life Orb. Maybe even Band would have to be that for the knockout, but we don't see a protect from either. Obviously not the Iron Hands, but definitely not from the Chi-Yu. It was Lash Out, so very glad I didn't go for an Electro Web there. I don't know if Lash Out is a knockout, truthfully. But they go for Volt Switch, not Drain Punch. Interesting. Okay. I might want to preserve the Indeedee. Truthfully. God, are you Life Orb or are you not? That's the only question. I think I don't really gain any benefit from Electro Web. Don't die though. Don't die. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Thunderbolt, Psychic. This could go pretty bad. I don't know my calc on the Lash Out because I'm a little shy of max defense. Thunderbolt brings him low, but not low enough. Were you Life Orb or no? Lash Out into the Regieleki. That's fine. Psychic's a big chunk into the Iron Hands. And they go Volt Switch also into the Regieleki. Does that knock out? It doesn't. That's pretty big. Yeah, so we bring the Chin Pow in Electro Web range. They were not Life Orb. If we had gone for Electro Web, they would have knocked us out because of the speed drop, boosting that to a 150 base power move. But we still have our Indeedee. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that played out. Fortunately, we're a little weak to Roaring Moon in the back, I would say. But I could also go for Tera Electric, Tera Blast, or Tera... Are you Speed Booster or Attack Booster here? You are... Speed Booster would be worse. It is Attack Booster. That's totally fine. I'm going to go Follow Me, Tera Blast here. Living, that's pretty enormous. I actually have an option against this Roaring Moon. Who do you have in the back, actually? Yeah, I feel like Tera Blast is correct here. If they're Breaking Swipe, it's a little annoying for me. I could make a very aggressive read in Helping Hand. Do I even have to go for this yet? I guess Follow Me, Electro Web is a little safer. They protect Chen Pao, okay, fair enough. That actually guarantees knockout into Indeedee, I believe, so yeah, good play there. Okay. Should have gone Tera Blast. Pretty bad mistake there. I had that damage pretty free onto them, but depending on the Roaring Moon's bulk, I don't think Tera Blast is... Oh, okay, that's totally fine. 100%. I think I just go for another one. Psychic Terrain is ending soon. Knockoff, probably a knockout. Do I just go for it? Do I just go for it? Maybe. They haven't gone for a Tera yet. I think I'm gonna go for it. Oh, they are switching into what? Iron Hands? Iron Hands, okay. Trying to tank the Electro Web. Don't want to just lose that. I think this is fine though. Honestly, I should check this calc. I'm gonna do that while this is animating out. Don't mind the clickety clacks. this a knockout? Okay, they don't protect. That's really good damage, regardless of how the turn actually plays out. Oh, that's huge. That's such a big knockout. Okay. So now kicking myself less for not going for that in the earlier turns, but that's a very big knockout. Honestly, the Regieleki having a fair amount of bulk in it was super huge in living that Lash Out Volt Switch combo. I think it was very aggressive of them not to go for... I guess I could have gone for Follow Me instead of what I went for, but Amoonguss is in. That's fine. They haven't gone for Tera yet. I kind of want to switch into my Torn and protect. Like, I think preserving Regieleki and Psychic Terrain will always win me the game versus Chien-Pao. The question is handling the potential defensive Teras on the Amoonguss. Because otherwise I could like go protect, Helping Hand, Tera Blast the Amoonguss the next turn, but because they, I believe, still have Tera on the board, that's not so safe. Drain Punches into the Torn though, they don't. They expect me to play it defensive, which I do. Good read from them, and now it is... Ooh, Pollen Puff, that was a good play. Yeah, I could have threatened a knockout on the Amoonguss there, but I don't take it. And now they have a Wild Charge into me that's pretty free. What do I have here? I could go Rain Dance if I wanted to. Does that set me up for a win? Potentially. I feel like it sets me up better than... They could Spore here. They could do a lot. I think I'm going to preserve, though. Should I go Bleak Wind? Get some damage on the Amoonguss, potentially. Uh-oh. Yeah, out of time, I have to go for the Rain Dance and switch into Ogerpon. I think I probably should just go for Bleak Wind this turn. Maybe even Protect is better. Like, they can double up my Regieleki pretty easily, and that's a way to get them back in the game. They do protect the Amoonguss, though, so Rain Dance proves to be correct, I think. Really massively increases my damage output, and now I think I can go for... Yeah, they Drain Punch in the Ogerpon, almost a 2-hit KO, so that's very offensive. Wild Charge will 2-hit KO me, unfortunately, but now I get Bleak Wind. Honestly, Protect or Spiky Shield is fine. Forces a Tera out of their Amoonguss. I mean, it doesn't force it, but forces them to go for some offensive or some defensive measures. They can't switch into Chien-Pao, that's always a knockout now because I set up the Rain. And this is going to be valuable chip onto the onto young Iron Hands. At this point, I'm kind of trying to sniff out the Iron Hands' Tera type, though. No Tera, no Terastallization. They're going to tank the damage on the Bleak Wind from their Amoonguss, which is totally fine. That's a 2-hit KO. Probably not after Citrus Berry, though, if I had to guess, if they have that. Nope, they go for Drain Punch, and I believe they're going to fall prey to the very, very annoying, well, Spiky Shield for one, but also Spore into the Torn. Yep, you got to familiarize with yourself with this team, especially in Best of 1. It's tricky enough in Best of 3. At this point, the damage is starting to be done. Should I bother? I think I kind of want to go Indeedee here. Should I get Tailwind up? Maybe. I think I probably go Cudgel into the Iron Hands and Bleak Wind. I feel like that will be a knockout in their Iron Hands if they don't Tera. And if they do, that's fine. To knock out the Tornadus, they have to Wild Charge it, in which case they take 50 damage. And they can't get a Pollen Puff off this turn because I'll always knock out Amoonguss. Or Iron Hands, I would expect. I'm expecting Ivy Cudgel to knock out, but you never know. But I think the 50 damage off the Wild Charge, or however many into the... Yeah, okay, we crit, but given we also had a Bleak Wind coming their way, that was maybe a knockout anyways. It's hard to tell. But I think with the Bleak Wind, or the crit, that's pretty much locking up game. They go for Pollen Puff into their Self. Yeah, they were really banking on surviving that hit, and even if they do, like, I think they probably get knocked out by Wild Charge. If they go for Drain Punch, that's a roll, maybe. They have to high roll my Ogerpon, so overall, now it's pretty safe. We go Bleak Wind. How safe is this? I think Bleak Wind should close it. Bleak Wind Spiky? Feels pretty safe. They cancel, yeah. My idea here is you have to Icicle Crash into the Tornadus. So I get Tailwind up, I protect, I can't get Pollen Puffed. So I'm not risking like attacking into a Protect that turn. Potentially I bait out a Protect from you, and then if you knock out the Torn, great, I bring in my Indeedee, you have no more priority on the board, and then I can just follow me target into the Amoonguss, and then Regieleki cleans up with no priority threats. But yeah, really good game there. You can see just the power of the Tera Ice Regieleki. They weren't expecting their Roaring Moon to be knocked out like that. They're kind of setting it up with Dragon Dance to be their closer, but 2 turns in a row they left it open to a Terra Blast. On the second one I took it, and yeah, just showing the value of that. You're not really doing that much damage without Transistor boost into it, but when you get a Helping Hand partner on it, you're really able to take any knockout you want. All right, up against the dock featuring Weezing, Roaring Moon, Landorus, Iron Hands, Ogerpon, and Fluttermane. If I'm not mistaken, this is a team that Wolfie won a tournament pretty recently with, so it's really actually quite excellent against Tornadus in a lot of respects, so gotta be careful about that. Yeah, one interesting thing, I can't actually set up Psychic Seed immediately. Roaring Moon is aggro knockoff on this one, it's not a Breaking Swipe one. I feel like Flutter's not bad as a lead, like I can consistently apply pressure. Honestly, Chi-Yu Flutter is kind of tempting. The issue is the... I think what I'm going to do... Oh, Regieleki is interesting, actually. I think I like Regieleki here as a lead. Apply some pressure without... Huh, okay. I think I'm going to get the Regieleki on the field pretty quick, Fluttermane in the back, and then the only question is, do I want Follow Me or do I want Ogerpon? I feel like Ogerpon for Ivy Cudgels is pretty decent, so I think I'll go with that. But I am lacking a bulk on this, so I have to definitely play aggressive, get some knockouts early, because I don't have a lot defensively if I get out of position. The main defensive units on the team are the Torn and the Indeedee, and they're kind of reliant on their abilities, which obviously the Weezing kind of limits me in, so that is a bit of an issue for me. Alright, it's going to be Weezing and Iron Hands. So Beads of Ruin actually is not active. I kind of forgot about that, truthfully. But one advantage is I can kind of just double protect here. And there's not a whole lot they can do about it. I don't have to double protect, but I'm not feeling a lot of pressure from them even if they switch out. So I kind of want to bait the fake out, see what they're going for. I don't think I knock out the Iron Hands. I might knock out the... Oh yeah, Protect on Weezing, baiting that out is pretty incredible. I have a pretty free overheat into that. I think I'm pretty certainly going for Tera Fire on Chi-Yu this game. Yeah. I like Flutter here. I feel like I can put some good pressure on the board with that. I actually don't want to knock out the Weezing if I can avoid it. Like if I'm going to knock out the Weezing... Okay. So to lay out my thought process for not just like Tera Fire, knock out the Weezing and live the Drain Punch. Weezing isn't really applying a lot of offensive pressure, and I think getting a hit off on the Iron Hands before it necessarily goes for a Tera, when it fears the Fluttermane on the field, is pretty nice. I also don't want to be -2 on the Chi-Yu when they switch something in. That's just a pretty passive position, and with Regieleki in the back, I do want to exert some pressure onto the... I miss one. I miss the Weezing. Okay. It's a bit annoying, honestly. We do a lot to the Iron Hands. We'll have a knockout on that next turn if we want it. They Drain Punch into that, but yeah, the Heat Wave miss is kind of annoying. Sludge Bomb doubled up. Hopefully no poison. Okay. I think I'm going to double protect here. Bait out a potential Tera. Yeah, that is the game you play when you're having this type of Chi-Yu. Like, obviously you get so much value out of Heat Wave when you double connect, but there's only roughly an 81%, I mean exactly 81%, but you have an 81% chance to hit both, and if you miss one, then you lose a fair amount of value that you would have just gotten going for Overheat. Based on that damage, I don't think we would have knocked out the Overheat. I think we need Bees of Ruin to even get close to that calc, but yeah, the Heat Wave would have been nice on the Weezing because it would have been a lot weaker, but yeah. Thankfully, we did get the Heat Wave off before the Iron Hands went for a Tera. We're going to see if it's water or something else. It is water, okay. So that really opens the door for Regieleki. I kind of just have to watch out for the Landorus in the back now, which is definitely a concern. Yeah, Landorus could be a concern, but if I can lock it into Stomping Tantrum, then my Ogerpon in the back should beat it. Heavy Slam into me. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if Snarl Moonblast is a knockout. I could switch out into Regieleki, and I'm kind of tempted to. Yeah, I think I will do that. And I'm going to go for a Snarl here, actually. Just to, if they do read this and go for example, like... maybe I should have Heat Waved, I'm not sure. The idea is more likely to hit, and I'll take less from Sludge Bomb if they target me. Interesting, Iron Hand switches out. Donor Seashell, what is that? Roaring Moon, okay. Heat Wave would have been really big damage onto that, so that's a little annoying. I also could have gone for, like, Moonblast, so not entirely sure what they were going for, but they were Speed Booster. I think this one's Tailwind is the only issue. Yeah, I could have gotten a huge Heat Wave off that turn, though, so definitely a mistake. I mean, it was a mistake given what happened, but... I kind of want to Electro Web. They obviously can't Tera anymore. I think I like Electro Web, maybe Protect. If I can get two... So the issue with the Speed Booster on the Roaring Moon is that even after the Electro Web, they will still outspeed my Chi-Yu. Oh, they went right for Tailwind. Good play. Okay. That's kind of an issue. I guess I don't lose a ton. Oh my goodness, I'm missing everything this game. That's pretty frustrating. Yeah, that's really annoying. It is what it is, though. If I can get another Electro Web off, I might be fine. Huh. I think I might have to make a read here. Like, are they going to knock off my Regieleki, or are they going to attack into the Chi-Yu? I could see it being into Chi-Yu. Do I have to make that read? I think I'm actually going to switch into the Ogerpon here. It's kind of a curious play. But I think they're going for knockoff into the Chi-Yu, not acrobatics. Maybe I would have lived... No, I probably don't live that. But yeah, they do go for the knockoff, which does minimize damage because of the Teal Mask not being knock-off-able, I guess. But yeah, we've lowered the speed once again. We should be now... Ooh, good double up. And they do get the poison. Okay. Not the end of the world, but not ideal. Okay. So they're at -2 on Roaring Moon. How big of a deal? Like, they have Tailwind up, so they're essentially at neutral, which means they'll be outspeeding my Regieleki, most likely. 245. It depends on their... I'm not max speed. So it kind of does depend on what they have here. I might go Flutter Mane and like start alternating protects. But yeah, that miss on the Weezing a little while back, and yeah, definitely not the best luck, but not super unlikely overall. Okay, Tailwind, 2 turns left. I get another Electro Web off, they're in trouble. Acrobatics is definitely going to knock out my Flutter. I kind of want to protect and Dazzling Gleam here. Should I do that? Do I have? No, I don't think I have to do that. If they don't have Landorus, I might actually just win with Chi-Yu Regieleki. If I play my cards right. So I'm going to double protect here. They could go for a switch. I guess it depends on who they have in the back. If they have Ogerpon, I think I could... Well, it would depend on their speed, but they go for knockoff. It was into the Regieleki, so I could have been aggressive that turn, but I don't think any reason to. They go Sludge Bomb here, that's fine. Now the question is, can I win this game with... I wonder if I don't think I outspeed them is the one issue here. I think I'm going to go for a double protect on Regieleki and go for Dazzling Gleam. It kind of feels just like my best play here. Oh, they protect. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Stalling out your last turn of protect. Okay. I failed the double protect, so I'm very glad they didn't attack. But I wonder if they've forgotten about the speed. Now I should outspeed their Roaring Moon. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to knock them into Citrus range here. But I think a T-Bolt Dazzling Gleam will knock them out. The only concern is if they get a Sludge Bomb poison on one of my Pokemon here, or a crit. They don't though, okay. That's pretty curious. I honestly think Thunderbolt Dazzling Gleam is going to knock them out here. Yeah, I think that was a really questionable... Wait, they're only... Did I miss a... Have I messed up? Why are they only neutral? I thought I hit 2 Electro Webs. Did I miss an Electro Web? Maybe? That's interesting. Okay. Well, I guess regardless it doesn't matter because I'm max speed Flutter Mane, so I should outspeed and hit them with a Gleam anyways. So we're going for Thunderbolt. Pretty big damage there. Should be in range of Dazzling Gleam, and we do with the max speed Flutter Mane outspeed their Roaring Moon. And that's really, really good. Okay. So it felt like a pretty bad position. If I had gotten the double protect, I probably would have been fine unless they read the Flutter Mane. But they do not, and they go for protect, and now I'm up 3-2 instead of down pretty severely. Not over yet. I think a Landorus is going to be still pretty winning for them in a lot of situations. Ogerpon, that's playable. Yeah, that's super playable actually. So what I can do is just double protect. Unless there's substitute Ogerpon, there's not a lot of punish for this. Swords Dance is kind of marginal, like marginally improves their position because of all the like frailty of my team. Like they're gonna knock me out with an Ivy Cudgel or a Horn Leech on anything that's like neutral anyways, so yeah, feel safe about this. I think it actually is Swords Dance on this team. But again, I don't think it actually matters. Yep, there's the SD, totally fine by me. Okay. I think Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam should knock out the Iron Hands, but is there any reason to risk it? I could go for Electroweb. Electroweb gives me a little better chance with the Heat Waves. I think Thunderbolt, just because I feel like there's a real chance I could miss a KO. I feel like Thunderbolt Dazzle surely gets them, but there's no real reason to risk it. I'm not sure the Dazzling Chip is going to matter in the end of the day. Okay, and we knocked out anyway, so Moonblast is going to do a bit more damage. I think Chi-Yu with either of these Pokemon is going to boost my damage output to the point where a Thunderbolt or a Moonblast after this initial Moonblast should win me the game. I think Landorus with the 4 that I brought could have been a big issue, especially when I sacked the Ogerpon, which was really my win condition from preventing them from just locking the Stomping Tantrum and winning the game, but we were able to outlast the Tailwind with some, I think, favorable luck just because feels like they maybe miscounted turns, made a bit of a misplay, but the Electro Web earlier in the game compounded with that mistake on their part. Should let us close this out. Maybe not though. If I miss an attack, I could definitely lose. I think Snarl Moonblast surely gets it here. So that's a 90 accurate move. So that's what I'm going to go for here. Yep, there's the Moonblast with the special attack boost. We're getting really close. Snarl will definitely knock them out. They go for the Horn Leech, so yeah, we maximized our odds with the Snarl. Let's see if we close it out. Missed a Heat Wave, missed an Electro Web. Let's see if we miss a Snarl here. We do actually connect. Very fortunate. There's a chance. I don't actually think there's a chance they could have lived with that, but yeah. When I was playing against Tiago on ladder, I don't know it was him, but he had it was like exactly this team, and the Snarls were actually doing outrageous damage to things like Ogerpon and Heatran at neutral, so that was spread. This one was single target, so I kind of head guesstimated that it would be about 40%, maybe even 50% on that Snarl, and we're able to get a knockout from 25, so that felt pretty comfortable as long as we actually hit our attacks. Okay, up against number 35 on the ladder, they have Landorus, Tornadus, Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu, Ogerpon, and Rillaboom. Interesting squad. Very interesting. We obviously have the super fun Tera Blaster read on the Landorus if we want to go for that. In best of one, it's kind of hard against other Torns because you can easily waste your Tera going for Tera Dark when they taunt, which is kind of annoying. I feel like Fluttermane's a pretty neutral lead for me. Yeah, it is pretty neutral. I don't think this is an Ogerpon game. The damage output from them is just a little bit difficult. I think Indeedee in the back might be pretty good. In fact, I think it might be very good. The only problem is actually their Chi-Yu. Yeah, their Chi-Yu could be an issue. So I think I'm going to go with Tornadus on lead for sure. Fluttermane's pretty safe. I like Chi-Yu in the back. Maybe I do go Ogerpon last. Yeah, the issue just becomes that Lando locking into Tera Flying could be an issue. Maybe I go Regieleki actually in the back, so that I can threaten Landorus late game regardless with Tera Blast, so I just have to be conscious and preserve my Tera. But best of one, Tornadus, Tailwind Mirror is definitely very scary when you know you're very low speed and you don't know if they have taunt. Okay. They're going for Tornlando, which is not unexpected. What I kind of want to go for, Rock Slide's kind of problematic for me here. Okay. More than anything, I just want to go for Moonblast, Bleakwind, but I could also go for Protect or Tailwind. No, I think I really do need to preserve my Tailwind pretty badly. Let's think. If they go for Taunt, I'm in big trouble, so I'm going to go Moonblast, Bleakwind. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Tailwind, Bleakwind. If they taunt me, they taunt me. Oh, we actually move first. That's good. Okay, yeah, they're also like min speed, super bulky Torn. So that's good to know. They're going for... Ooh, is that Banned Landorus? It looks like it might be. Yeah, that's a good thing I'm Focus Sash, because otherwise that would have cleaned my clock out. Big critical hit, not going to matter, of course. That's interesting. EQ banned Lando on a Rillaboom team. Regardless, let's look. I believe I'm Mince. Like, do I have 4 speed EVs? I don't even think I have that, so I believe that was a speed tie. I think I'd definitely go for Bleak Wind here. I have no value of going for... Yeah, I'm going to go Dazzling Gleam. Is that necessary? I don't think so. I kind of want the free switch in, don't I? I think I'm going to Moonblast you and Bleak Wind. And if I miss the Torn, great. I get Regieleki in later. Oh, Scary Face. Okay, never mind. Fair enough. Okay, we're faster than their Lando and we knock out Torn on a critical hit. I honestly doubt that would have knocked out. A speed drop would be kind of cool on the Lando, but we're not going to get that. And they knock us out with EQ, but overall I'm definitely happy with how that lead matchup trade-off went. If they know we're Focus Sash, they probably just go for Rock Slide there, but they expected a bulky Specs Flutter and kind of get punished for it. Also, we find out the speed stat on their Lando, and we know they're slower than our Chi-Yu, which is enormous. We know they don't have an Urshifu, so I actually like Chi-Yu a fair bit here. We do have to watch out for potentially Ogerpon Rillaboom in the late game. That is who they have brought out. We have a very, very easy knockout with Heat Wave. I don't think we have to commit Tera yet. Yeah, I think Heat Wave super duper knocks out with Life Orb, and we can go for Bleak Wind as well. And yeah, that feels fine. Yep, they go for Spiky Shield. We have 2 chances. Bleak Wind won't knock out Lando, so we are kind of dependent on hitting this Heat Wave, but I'd rather go for Snarl, or like Heat Wave, than go for Snarl, because that's counting on the Bleak Wind to pick up the KO, which, like, the accuracy on that is kind of sketchy, but even on Tailwind turns, we have the potential to reset Tailwind on them if we want to, but let's see how this all plays out. They don't... I mean, they have to... Oh, Chi-Yu is their last mon. Okay. That's interesting. I kind of want to go for Snarl Protect, truthfully. And I think I will. Could I go for Rain Dance? Ooh, that's tempting. I guess I can go for that another turn, though. So I'm gonna hold my horses on that. Should I do that? I could double protect, honestly. Yeah, I'm not choice specs, so there's no real reason for me to pull the trigger like that. So I'm gonna double protect here. This baits out a potential tear from them and lets me figure out my in-game a little more cleanly, especially because I can refresh Tailwinds and Rain Dances and all stuff like that. And it is the Terastallization on the Ogerpon, which opens things up a little bit for the Regieleki. I do have to be concerned about their Chi-Yu, though. The damage output from that could be pretty dicey. You gotta expect there's something like Choice Specs, though. Maybe it should have just been Rain Dance Snarl here, I'm not sure. I lock in Heat Wave, though, which means I can lock into Rain Dance pretty safely. No, I can't. Yeah, I think that was a misplay. I think it should have been Rain Dance Snarl. I'm pretty sure they will outspeed me now. So this was something of a mistake, I'd say. Yeah, that was a... I don't gain much, though, because I'm still making the same play this turn. It just like gives them an opportunity to go for Protect and maybe make a mistake. But yeah, no reason to burn Tera here. Probably won't end up using Tera this game. But yeah, the damage output coming out is going to be pretty minimal unless they crit me on the Ogerpon. Depends on their speed stat as well. They go for Heat Wave and they end up missing my Chi-Yu. Damage there wouldn't have been crazy, but it wouldn't have been like nothing. Oh, Stomping Tantrum. Oh, that's amazing from them. Okay. Oh, that's such an issue. Okay. I get 100% accurate Bleak Winds now, which is of note. But yeah, the Stomping Tantrum, oh, that's so clutch from them. I think, yeah, that's a really good play from them. I should live enough of these that I'm fine. I guess it kind of comes down to a Spiky Shield read, it feels like. I think I'm going to go Tailwind. Tailwind Protect here, try and bait out their Protect. Yeah, if I'd been a faster Chi... I mean, they're probably fast enough. No, they outsped their... If I was max speed Chi-Yu, I would have outsped them. But we don't see a Spiky Shield from them, which is concerning because they probably went for Ivy Cudgel into my Torn, which is annoying. Big damage, and they go for... They get the burn. That could be annoying, but if they doubled it up, it doesn't matter here. Stomping Tantrum makes sense, though. Okay. Rain turns are going down. The Heat Wave means they'll actually knock me out next time, I think. Let me look at my rain turns. 3 turns of rain, which isn't a lot, actually. Yeah, if I was like Tera Electric, I think I'd be able to fairly safely close this out, but without that, it's really close, I think. I have to make a read here. I have to read if they Spiky Shield or not. The burn really makes it tough for me. I'm gonna go Bleak Wind. I could have protected Torn too. Yeah, they went for Spiky Shield this time, so they made the right reads this game. But yeah, the burn is quite annoying. Because otherwise I think I live this hit and I get to go for Thunderbolt Bleak Wind without it having to be a read. But yeah, Stomping Tantrum definitely the perfect move in that situation. Oh, that does it. If I Thunderbolted, I would have won. They double hit the Heat Wave. That's going to do too much. Yeah, that's super frustrating, losing that to the burn on the Torn, but I could have played better. I could have made better reads, so... Now they have a 100% accurate move here, and I don't think Thunderbolt's going to be a knockout. That's really frustrating, though. Yeah, they made all the right plays. And, you know, tit for tat, they didn't know I was Focus Sash, so they missed some Rock Slide damage, but I didn't know they were... yeah, they live. Bleak Wind would have covered it, but unfortunately not the case here. And they knock out with Heat Wave anyway, so... Yeah, but if we could have held on to the Torn of this that turn... Oh, that burn stunk, but it is what it is. Really close match against them. The surprise Stomping Tantrum definitely came in clutch. Otherwise, yeah. That's quite annoying. Because if I had not gone for the double protect, just gone for like Snarl on that turn, they would have knocked out my Torn, yes, but I probably get Rain Dance up. Yeah, thinking on that turn, if I hadn't gone for the double protect, I go for Snarl, Rain Dance. I take minimal damage. Chi-Yu damage output is just in the ground at that point. That might not even knock me out with Ivy Cudgel. And then I've done enough damage to the Ogerpon that they get knocked out by the Thunderbolt in the late game, and I should have that pretty safely. So, although the Heat Wave, like the burn was annoying, it let them win the game. With the plays that I made, I could have put them in a situation where it's me moving first, it's me hitting my moves instead of like having to rely on their moves to not crit or burn me. So, slight sub-optimization of that game, but definitely worth looking into. It's also, you know, best of one ladder, you get surprised by stuff. Just like they get surprised by some of the stuff on your team, so you just try and play the best you can and optimize your game plan so that surprise stuff doesn't get you like that. So, Baxcalibur, Heatran, Ogerpon, Zapdos, Landorus, and Urshifu. This kind of feels like a Hail team without the Hail, which is pretty interesting. Or Snow team, rather. Regardless, how do I feel about my Ogerpon here? With Swords Dance, it can set up pretty aggressively on a lot of their Pokemon. Yeah, definitely. That's pretty tempting. Probably in the back though, because Lando lead is reasonably likely. I like Flutter Mane. Do I get a lot of value out of Chi-Yu here? Not with the Urshifu with the Lando so much on the field. Indeedee is an option though. Like Indeedee Snarl does a ton of damage to their whole team. But I'm a little worried about Dark type. Could I go Regieleki instead of Tauren? Probably, right? Yeah, I think that threatens them a fair bit. Yeah, I don't feel too bad about this actually. And then I think I'll go Ogerpon last. So leaving my supports on the bench, but Regieleki in a sense is a support even though it's such a threatening offensive threat. If the opposing team doesn't have active like priority Tailwind, then leading Chi-Yu plus Regieleki, there's not a lot that can stand up to Electroweb plus Overheat. Okay, Heatran Ogerpon is their lead. Very, very, very nice Snarl for me, it feels like. Thunderbolt, probably not a knockout on their Ogerpon. I'm actually very tempted to go for... God, they have a pretty... Definitely going Electroweb here. The question is Overheat into Regieleki or Snarl? Ooh, I think I have to go for Snarl because I really don't want them to go... I mean, I don't have to do anything. This is all kind of a read. But I really don't want them to go for a Earth Power and knock out my Regieleki just because Regieleki is like just such a really strong option against their team. Namely the Landorus T. They go for a Tera on the Heatran, probably Fairy if I had to guess, yeah. So they'll take less damage from Snarl. But they left their Ogerpon open this turn. It is a Spiky Shield though, so we do kind of call that turn correct. Not as good as probably a like Protect on Regieleki Snarl would be, but overall still good. Decent damage into the Heatran. I honestly wonder if that is a... We hit into the Protect and we connect on the Heatran. That's pretty good. I wonder if that's AV. We'll see if it's leftovers or not, but yeah, they took those hits pretty well. Earth Power does hit into the Regieleki. Oh man, is that a crit? Okay, Regieleki, you have let me down pretty severely. That's pretty bad. That's bad for sure. Because without the speed control on the Ogerpon, they probably outspeed my Chi-Yu. And I don't have a defensive Tera to weasel my way out of that. Probably go Swords Dance here. And... honestly... should I switch? Probably not. Increasing their damage is a concern. It's probably just Ivy Cudgel Heat Wave though. I'm gonna go Swords Dance. Yeah, I really did think I would live that hit, but strong Heatran. Heatran switches out though, okay. Interesting. And it is Zapdos, which is fine. We'll see how the speed tiers work out here. I am a pretty quick Ogerpon, I believe. I think I'm Jolly. But I might be adamant, I'm not fully remembering. We do outspeed them. We don't have a guaranteed knockout into their Zapdos, unfortunately. Ivy Cudgel is into that though, so that's fine. Okay. I feel like Ivy Cudgel might knock them out on the Zapdos. I'm not certain though. I'm adamant. Oh, they undersped my Chi-Yu. And they undersped my Ogerpon. That's super good. Yeah, I feel like this is just... Ivy Cudgel... Tera, maybe? Okay, I feel like I have a guaranteed play here. Okay. Probably called this one wrong. I overheat into the Zapdos. I feel like that's a knockout, but I'm not certain. It is a knockout, okay. So I don't overcommit my resources, like Heat Wave is better there, but yeah, I just want to deny Tailwind was the thought process there. I think given that the Chi-Yu outsped the Ogerpon, I had a little bit safer of an option, especially because they live that. But I think most of the HP, like all of Zapdos, no Tailwind, and then bringing the Ogerpon into chip range of Dazzling Gleam is pretty good. Especially with Tera burned. Like if I hadn't burned the Tera on the Heatran, I'd be a little worried about the like a Landorus sweep in the late game. But I think this all works out just fine. And I haven't used my Tera very notably, so let's see who they have. It is Urshifu. I kind of expect that to be the dark one. And it is indeed the dark one. Okay. What am I worried about here? Honestly, Poison Jab would be a little tricky. So I think I'm just going to go Tera, Horn Leech, Dazzling Gleam. Maybe Rock Slide would be a concern, but yeah, I think my main concern is like Choice Scarf or Jolly Banded Poison Jab. If they're banded, I knock them out with Dazzling Gleam, so I would be more worried about Scarf. And I think, yeah, I should just win this as long as they're not Scarf Rock Slide. I think I covered everything unless they're like Assault Vest, fast, and they live, and they knock me out. Yeah, I don't really see an option for them here with Focus Sash and Flutter. Protect totally makes sense. Probably indicates that they are Focus Sash. But I, of course, have my own Focus Sash, so that's not the biggest concern. Like, if I knew my rolls a little bit better, I would know if their Heatran was Assault Vest and I had a free Ivy Cudgel this turn, but unfortunately, I do not. I guess it could be Specs, like the Earth Power, I'm not sure, but yeah, without having played this team for a long period of time, I don't really know my rolls well enough. Let's see. I kind of think it's Assault Vest, that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm kind of leaning towards that. But I do have a pretty safe, like, if they don't get a double protect, I should just beat them on Urshifu. So I think I will go Dazzling Gleam. Even though, in my heart of hearts, I feel like that's AV Heatran. I'm you know, better to target into the Urshifu and make them go for the double protect. Yeah, that's a crit. I feel like that's gotta be AV. So maybe they have a way to close it out. But no, they're actually slower than my Ogerpon. We're EV Doubt Speed Adamant, and they appear to be that. So they don't even get any Sucker Punch damage off. So now with the Focus Sash in hand, there's just really no way. If they had Sucker Punched and maybe gotten a crit on something, maybe there's a chance. But yeah, Flash Cannon doesn't even bring us to Sash. They don't even get the magic of that. So we're going to go Protect and hit the Cudgel to close this one out. Yeah, they do cancel, but really the speed of the opposing Ogerpon was such a huge deal, confirming on that Swords Dance turn when they didn't go for a Protect that actually my Chi was faster. Really opened things up the next turn because I didn't have the Ivy Cudgel to Zapdos. I could go for Horn Leech, and even though I think there was probably a bit more optimal of a play, maybe Heat Wave, Ivy Cudgel into the Zapdos, so I'm not risking a miss. If I know that Ivy Cudgel knocks them out, that could have been good, but yeah, learning that speed tier was so important. And generally, on this team, I guess Regieleki, like Ogerpon could be an issue with the defense boosts against the primarily special attacking components of the team. So yeah, you do really just have to manage that more in a best of 3 situation where you can figure out the Ogerpon speed and figure out what your best counterplay is. Especially, do you need an Electro Web on it, or can you afford to leave Regieleki attacking with Thunderbolt onto other Pokemon? So that's going to do it for our battles today, featuring Vovomax Ben 10's second place team at the Latin American International Championships. The Tera Fire Chi-Yu damage is just so absurd, and I feel like Snarl is kind of like the standout on that set actually. It's just reasonably high accuracy against teams that would otherwise be able to withstand your team's crazy offensive potential. You can go for Snarl and slow down the pace of the game to give your Ogerpon turns to set up Swords Dance, let your Regieleki survive hits, even though you are kind of offsetting that with Beads of Ruin while you are on the field. After you've left the field, the Snarl can really leave a lasting impact on an opponent's damage output. Overall, we lost one battle, won the rest. If you want to try the team for yourself on the Battle Stadium ladder, I have the rental code in the top right of the video, as well as in the description below, along with a poke paste of the team's EV spreads, along with Vovamax Ben 10's Twitter account if you want to follow him there. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe to the channel, and with all that being said, peace y'all. Like, in a best of one, yeah, you can surprise them with Tera Blast on Regieleki on like a Landorus T, or surprising them with the Ogerpon set or the Tera Fire Chi-Yu, but them knowing you have it doesn't make those offensive options any less potent. But if they have a surprise protect, a surprise substitute, random trick room, random tech moves like Stomping Tantrum, at that point that can kind of throw more wrenches in your game plan. If you don't know about it, then like the kind of predictable offensive options that you have, like everyone from single battles is going to expect the Regieleki set. To some extent, you have to be ready for like Life Orb Tera Fire damage isn't that different from Choice Specs damage, so you're kind of embedding game plans for that in your own game, embedding game plans against that in your own on team.